I have a friend in San Diego, and I haven't seen him for a long time. You're making me think I must go back.
I'll look him up for you.
I love it. Yeah.
I have a friend as well.
Do you?
Yeah, just the one.
You're taking him with it, right? Hilary.
Yes.
How would you look interested in a boring meeting, which seems quite opposite, as you were pretty bored with that bit of conversation? She was leaning there going,
Yeah, you weren't
So,
even looking interested.
You've got an article here which tells you how to do this.
Absolutely.
It's from, excuse me, but it is from the BBC website, I must point out, the business section.
From the BBC website, and it arises out of our esteemed new Prime Minister. Apparently, Theresa May is described as...
Theresa May, not apparently Theresa May.
Well, no. Apparently, Theresa May sits in cabinet as thus. She just sits there in cabinet looking exasperated in a poised way. Yeah. Which sounds to me absolutely brilliant. I can well imagine her doing that. And the article goes on and says to go through meetings looking exasperated but poised is what we should all be aiming for. Superior but never rude, powerful but not dishonest, a little bit forbidding, a little bit regal, just perfect. And I saw this article on Twitter and I retweeted it and I got quite a lot of reaction from various people. So I thought...
All in favour? Do they agree with you? This is how we should look in meetings?
Well, I think they agreed that it is important to not look disinterested in meetings, however boring that meeting may appear to be. And there are various ways that you should present yourself. Because, of course, we all forget when you are standing up and presenting, everybody is looking at you. But how are you looking to them? And obviously how everybody in the audience looks actually impacts the speaker.
It does.
Well,
there's some recent research which shows that people who are poor speakers and get very, very nervous actually spend much more time looking at people who appear to be bored or to be disinterested than they do at those people in the audience who are smiling. And it's exactly the reverse for people who feel confident and enjoy public speaking. In other words, you could put the two groups in this audience, same audience, some not looking very interested and some looking very... It's you, the speaker, that will pay attention to one or the other.
I wouldn't know. I've never had a bored audience. So.
Really? Because you see, you've always been looking in the wrong direction. Half of them over there are
looking at the
asleep.
bored people, yeah. But you see, what it doesn't is I'll start that sentence one last time. The title of the article is How to Look Interested in a Boring Meeting. And it says why to look interested, but it doesn't say how. So
about arranging your face.
Is it just about pretending, adopting a suitable facial expression, it says here?
Well, I was going to ask Hilary, actually. What do you do about it, Hilary? Have you now got a mirror? Are you sitting in front of a mirror, arranging your face to do your exasperated face?
I always look like that, regal and poised. Thank you very much.
I'm going to say, you're not looking at all bored now, so you're doing it very well.
I'm certainly not bored. This is not a boring meeting. It's a little bit worrying if people are attending boring meetings because...
Why are they?
Exactly. But the smiling is something that is highlighted in the article. It says, smiling is a good plan. Usually it makes other people feel better. But in meetings, it's to be avoided because unless someone's made a joke, it can make you look unserious, too keen, possibly sycophantic. Sucking up is not a good idea, apparently.
This is written by Lucy Kellaway, who's an author and Financial Times columnist, and she's on Business Daily and World Business Report and BBC World Service. And you know what? I'm none of those things, but I do disagree with her to a degree, because what she says here is, and I scrolled down to find out who she was. Yes, as you said, to go through meetings looking exasperated but poised is what we should all be aiming for, is superior but never rude. Now, actually, if somebody's looking exasperated at what I'm saying, then that is rude. Well, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. It depends what you're...
It's clear that they're looking that way. That's what they're portraying. So everybody knows that what Mark is saying is so stupid that the person is not rude enough to say, "Shut up, Mark, you're being stupid," but they are clearly exasperated by my stupidity.
Perhaps that's because it's a boring meeting.
It could be.
And as you never have those, you never have to suffer that.
Yeah.
And yes, I suppose you kind of have a responsibility as an audience. So if for example, I used to think this about sitting on the board or on the meetings when I was in the pharmaceutical industry, and people would come in and do a presentation. We'd been sat there for 2 hours listening to various marketing people present. they'd only come in. They prepared and put a lot of work into this, and it was down to us to brighten ourselves up again. We had a responsibility, I thought, to as part of the audience, to be aware of how. But I suppose if somebody was presenting us a load of rubbish, we had every right to go and give them the look which says this is a load of rubbish.
I think the same goes for interviews, job interviews as well, which we talk about frequently on this show from various perspectives. I think when you are the interviewer and your fourth 2-hour interview is about to start, it's really, as you say, you've got to brighten yourself up somehow. You've got to smile because it's important. It's important to get the right person, but also for the person coming in, it's important.
Well, it's
that
an
you seem
interaction.
interested.
You get a better response from your speaker if you're engaging with them to some extent. How you engage is the interesting thing. Just don't fall asleep, according to this.
Yeah, that's Kay Whitmore, chief exec of Kodak in the 90s, more infamous for falling asleep in a meeting with Bill Gates than for helping to run the company into the ground. But it turns out there are different kinds of nod.
Yeah.
Be careful over the speed with which you nod.
You've got to be very sage. But I think what you said, Hilary, is right. Why are you in a boring meeting? Why is the meeting boring? Why are people sitting there uninterested in what's being said? Why is that meeting happening? And whoever called that meeting really needs to be thinking about that.
Yes, if you're not engaged, you probably are surplus to requirements in the meeting.
Yes, I mean, do any of you? I'm sure we all go to meetings. Most of my meetings, though, are called by customers and things, so it's not appropriate. But do you go to meetings and where you say, can I ask what you want before this meeting, or why have we got the people on the list that we have got on, who's here to do what? We did a little bit of that at the tail end of my time with SmithKline Beecham. It was very effective. Everybody had to justify why they were there, and if somebody called them and they couldn't justify why, you were in theory quite at liberty to say, well, I'd best go. Okay.
Brave, but...
Yes, very brave, exactly. Depending who'd call the meeting. Paul, you wanted to go to prison.
I wanted to send somebody to prison.
You did. You want to send somebody to prison, which is why when you chose originally San Quentin by Johnny Cash, and I couldn't...